Next, we're going to hear from a journalist, Philip Weiss, who has written for New York Magazine, Harper's, Esquire, New York Observer, but most recently, he's become well known as being a co-editor with Adam Horowitz of a news website called Mondoweiss, which is devoted to looking at American foreign policy in the Middle East, chiefly from a progressive Jewish perspective.
I remember most vividly, I remember that moment when I was at the Republican convention in New York in 2004, and I was sitting with all these important media people, and they're all, I was then part of the mainstream media, and we're all tiered in terms of our importance. And we're sitting there listening intently to George Bush, and in the middle of it, Jody Evans stands up and tears off a shirt and says, your hands are covered with the blood of Americans and Iraqis, something like that. And she starts screaming that. And they dragged her out of Madison Square Garden right past the media. I'll never forget that. It was one of the most important moments for me on my journey, and I think in the end for our country, to see this brave person being dragged out, manhandled, with her shoes flying off right by the media, and they did not pay any attention. And I was sitting there, and it was just so vivid that I thought, who is this nobody, Jody Evans, who has put her body on the line for a great principle of accountability. And I'm sitting in this just kind of banks of reporters, and there's no accountability. And it was very important because I thought, which side am I on? It was a which side am I on moment. And I think one of the inspiring things about what you folks are doing right now is you're trying to keep that you're bringing that conversation to the halls of power as she was doing then. And how many people did it affect? Maybe it just affected me, maybe it affected George Bush. We don't know, Norman Morrison's immolation outside, he killed himself outside McNamara's office in 1965. That affected me deeply. It affected McNamara deeply. Jody was not making that type of sacrifice, obviously, but there's no saying what that kind of gesture of witness does to a society. And it's had a big effect on me, and I think that this conference has a similar type of potential importance.